Well, welcome to Town Talk, the official podcast of Summerville, South Carolina, where we bring you the latest news and guests that make our town special. And today, I am extremely excited that we finally are able to get Steve, the executive director at Summerville DREAM, on the podcast. How are you doing today, Steve?
Oh, fantastic, man! Just a great season. Great to be here with you guys. Thanks for having us on.
Yes, I've been really wanting to get you on for a while, and finally the schedule lined up where we're able to get you on. And so I'm really excited, and thank you for the time you're taking to talk with me today. To start this conversation, I think it'd be awesome just to get to know a little bit more about you and what brought you to Somerville.
Well, it was a divine intervention, I think, that brought us to Summerville.
Yeah.
My wife is a professor at the College of Charleston, and about 12 years ago had the opportunity to come down here. We started looking at communities, and everyone said, you got to go to Charleston, you got to move to Charleston, you got to move to Charleston, blah, 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 blah. Just on a whim, honestly, we looked at it and said, what about this Somerville place? Mm-hmm. And it was the school district. It was the quality of life issues that we found. It was the neighborhoods that we found. And we said, okay, no, this is the place. And it's been a great decision. It's been great for my family. It's been great for me. So Somerville is kind of our new adopted home. It feels like we've been here forever. Just a great place.
Yeah, it is. People always, and every episode I swear I say this, but it's that Somerville way. It's a Somerville charm. It's just something about Somerville that makes it special.
Something about Somerville.
Yeah.
I like that. Can I coin that?
Yeah, of course.
Something about Somerville.
Something about Somerville. That's good. No, I like that. Hey, that's catchy. Yeah. So before you joined Dream, what did your career?
Sure.
What was your career like?
Sure. I spent, over the past, I always say I've been doing this since Moby Dick was a guppy, right? Mm-hmm. So the past 36 years, I was an executive director in different park districts in the Midwest, from Indiana, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Had a chance to manage everything from minor league baseball to cemeteries to circus. Don't ask me about the circus. Aquatic centers, you name it, zoos, and it was a great career. When we came down here, I took a chance being an entrepreneur. Met with some really great people, and we went ahead and put together a cool company. We were doing event management and services throughout the Lowcountry.
Nice.
And then that blossomed into aquatic services. So we were putting in inflatable water parks around the country.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, those were always kind of fun. And then when that blossomed into aerial adventure parks, so those are self-guided obstacle courses, zip lines,
like those rope courses.
Yeah, rope courses.
Oh man, those are fun.
So that was great.
Okay.
And then doing that for many years, and being on an airplane. Probably I knew more people in different airports around the country than I did my own family here in Somerville. So I was blessed to be able to sell that business, and then had the opportunity about 4 years ago to come over here as executive director for Dream and work in that world of event management and business development and things like that. So it's been kind of that hodgepodge type of existence, a career existence, but it's been fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you brought up the water park. My dad is actually he's retired now, but he basically his whole business that he created when he came out of high school was he built water parks around the country.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, my childhood was so much fun because I traveled. He would build a water park and be like, "Hey, you want to go test it out?"
Of course.
I was 8 years old. And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So we're going to Alabama, we're going to Florida, and we're going to Ohio. I mean, we went to a ton of places where he built water parks. It was amazing.
I got to tell you, man, and getting to know you, you're the first person to ever get excited about going to Ohio. No offense to Ohio or people from Ohio, let it be known. But I guess if you're going to go there, you're going to go for a water park, man. That's the thing to do.
Listen, they have some great water parks in Ohio. I'll tell you what. I grew up in Pennsylvania, not too far from Ohio.
There you go.
And so there is that rivalry, and there's only a few things I like about Ohio, and one of them is water parks.
Water parks.
But no, it's great. Now, I want to circle back. So you're the executive director of Summerville DREAM.
Yes.
To start, before we kind of dig into your role, can you tell us in the community just a little bit more about what Summerville DREAM is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dream's been around since 1992. At that time and around that time, late 80s, early 90s, and this happened across the states. A lot of small towns like Summerville, historic districts, and what have you, started to fail a bit. You had mega box stores come in. We talk about Summerville back then were pine forests that were all around us. Then you had Walmart on the north and Walmart on the south.
Yep.
And a lot of folks were going to shopping malls, were going to mega box stores and stuff like that, and downtown was had to reinvent itself, had to come up with some other plans. So DREAM, which is Downtown Restoration, Enhancement, and Management, is what it acronym for.
Hey, I did not know that. Now I'm learning.
So when you have trivia night at one of the bars, now you know when that asks, what does DREAM stand for? That's what it stands for.
Nice.
Or if you ask Walt Disney, it's a dream your heart makes or whatever. But we like our acronym better. Anyways, so a group of merchants got together and formed DREAM and started doing events and activities and to bring people back down to kind of say, hey, look, let's reinvest in what's going on here. And start working. When you had 18% vacancy, and I can tell you today we have like 1 or 2 open spots in the downtown. It's really a testament to the leadership that came well before me. So DREAM was doing that. Then it evolved over time into doing more expansive events from Third Thursdays to sidewalk sales to trick or treat. Now we have the Sweet Tea Festival.
Yep.
We run the farmers market.
Yep.
We do the Christmas parade, which, by the way, is always the second Sunday in December. So if you're looking for a great parade, it's going to be then.
There you go.
Come on out. It's great. You and 20,000 other neighbors and friends come out for that. And now DREAM's taking that next step. The next step, logically, was how do we expand marketing? How do we start providing small business? Give them a leg up, give them a little bit of an advantage over some of the other major, commercials and other things that are happening. So we invest heavily in marketing in all kinds of multimedia, digital, and individual marketing pieces. And most recently, over the past couple of years, we're expanding in business development. Where we're working to bring entrepreneurs or finding entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs in town, people that are interested in opening their own businesses. And this happened especially after the pandemic. A lot of people wanted to come out and say, hey, listen, I have something. I think Etsy took off.
Yeah, it did.
Right? So working with entrepreneurs and investors and trying to match people up so that there's opportunities for them. We have a lot of other places throughout Summerville where they could be successful. So those are kind of the 3. We started back then with, hey, we have all this vacancy, to where we are today, where we've kind of filled the vacancy void. Now we need to grow more entrepreneurs in order to sustain that. And we're going to make sure that just because you have your name on a store, we want to market it so that people know where to come find you.
Of course. And so it's cool to listen to that transition and the way DREAM has evolved over the time. And it's growing and enhancing itself as an organization.
The best testament to it is there's a couple of things that come out of it and credit all my predecessors and our board members and all our committees and all our merchants and people that really are involved with this, is to be able to say that collectively, that's what DREAM is a cohort of all these collective great people working together, and the town support from the mayor to town council, support from county officials and our state coalition, things like that. People that have all kind of come together to say there was a problem that needed to be solved. We can't take our foot off the accelerator. And to be able to say, look, we're going to change as the times change, as the needs change, as all that happens. But here's the best part of the whole thing. Summerville hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. We coined the phrase, keep it Summerville. And it's still that great community. It's still that great neighborhood community. People that are pouring into it and doing really, really innovative and cool and interesting things.
Yep.
And so we've been really pleased to help nurture that, to be part of that.
Yeah.
That's what it's always important for us to say. It's never about Dream growing as the organization. It's the community that brings that together, and that rising tide is what Dream is.
Yeah,
it's kind of everything.
Yeah,
right.
It's super cool because you talk about like how y'all help entrepreneurs, and you brought up COVID and how that really just kind of skyrocketed the entrepreneurial world, right? Everyone, when you're stuck inside your home and you have nothing else to do, you're going to start thinking and thinking about things that, that could be helpful. Oh, I could make some extra money on that, doing that. And now you guys are helping those individuals or people or groups who came up with this idea during such a hard time and is now enhancing our economy.
I think, and that's where we're really blessed with that, and especially here in Greater Summerville area, is that we have such an array of talent. So every, whether it was because of the pandemic that we were at home because we were sparked by some type of imagination or saw some YouTube, something like that, right? But the bottom line is that people, if you believe in yourself, if you're going to bet on somebody, bet on yourself.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So that's where, we're kind of believing in. And people that have made these investments a while ago, I mean, we've had shops down here that have been here 10, 12, 14 years or better. And then we have new ones.
Yep.
So there's a great, and we have great restaurants, and there's great, balancing act that happens,
it's
right?
It's amazing here. It's so unique. You don't see it. You don't see it.
You don't see, and here's what you don't see. You don't see the response in a lot of other places that we get. These are we get a lot of tourism that comes through Summerville.
Of course.
We're pleased to work on that. That's fantastic. Come to Summerville. It's a great place. You'll love it. Sweet tea, all that. That being said, the people that live here, that have made their investments, that put their homes here, and really still value that quality, that craftsmanship, that experience, all those things that kind of go into it. And so we just want to enhance that. We want to find those avenues for people.
Yeah, it's important. Summerville's built off a tradition, but it's tradition that is, people are finding ways to enhance, not change, enhance traditions. And that's what's unique about Summerville. Is a lot of towns, cities, and are changing. They're changing the way. Summerville's taking it a different direction, saying, hey, we love Summerville. We love these traditions. We love our community, our Summerville way. But, as times change, we don't want to change. We just want to enhance what we've already built.
We tell the stories that, can you imagine being one of the first people to work at any of the great giants of our technology, or industry? That if we had, when we had people the first day working at Disneyland, those people had no idea, cool, had no idea what that was going to grow into. And look where whether you're a Disney fan or not, look at what it's taken over in the world. Can you imagine, Steve Jobs and Wozniak sitting in the garage,
thinking what it would have been.
This computer's going to turn into what Apple is today.
Yeah.
So the greatest thing about that, and I said all that to say this. Here's where Summerville falls in those things. Summerville has been incorporated well over 175 years, where we've had new buildings and new roads and new people moving into our community and all that stuff. What you said is exactly what we want to make sure that we do, is that we have a quality of life and that we have standards that are put in place that welcomes everybody, that welcomes innovation, that wants to challenge people to do cool and interesting and great things.
Yep.
But at the same time, you live in a safe community. You know that you live in a community that values parks and recreation.
Yes.
That values people, neighbors coming together. That celebrates these things. And so we have great school districts here around us, and so you just have the kind of the best of both worlds. And I can tell you, as of late, with all the great entrepreneurs and people that are pouring into our community, dude, I go out for fantastic meals here in Summerville. I get great shopping here in Summerville. I get great services right here in Summerville, and you don't have to draw from other parts.
No.
It's been great.
No, and no knock to any other city or near us or town, but man, you do not need to go to downtown Charleston to get top of the line food and shopping anymore, because we have that here in Summerville. And when I say top of the line food, I mean top of the line food here in Somerville. I mean, look at me. It's pretty obvious.
Both of us. You got. There is just the service opportunities, just everything that's happening. And look, we have warts. We have other things. Look, we got to say that too. I know we're I'm being on the podcast in the town, but here's the thing that's great about Somerville. We have leadership and other folks and stakeholders, elected officials, DREAM, the Chamber of Commerce, visitors, everybody that looks at things and says, if there's an issue, like DREAM was founded on, there was an issue. There was a problem. Vacancy in our downtown, our historic district that was in trouble. Now when we look at other things, we say, okay, how can we make this better? What can we all do as a collective to come together to help solve these type of problems, to help put things forth? And, there's ideas that come on the table and come off the table and back and forth and a lot of things. There's no perfect one thing. But what's really remarkable is that we're willing as citizens to stand up and have vigorous debate, to be honest with one another, and to help find those solutions. And I think that's what continues. That's what we talk about with quality of life, when we talk about, keep it Somerville.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of those important, nuggets that are there to say that, we're willing to at least lean into and help find solutions.
Yes. And and I talked about this with another guest before. Communication.
Yeah.
And listening is so important. And it's here in Somerville. We have that here. People sometimes miss that. Like when you go to certain places, you'll find that that's not a thing. No. There's no communication. There's no listening. And here in Somerville, we all are kind of a family, right? We all care about this town, and we care about the surrounding area, and and that's why I think our communication and our listening is, I think, leaps and bounds ahead of other places.
I think so.
And
yeah,
I really do. And you talked about the entrepreneurial folks coming in, and it's interesting. And this is a kind of a thought that came in my head. It's like, what if the next Apple starts in Somerville in a garage? I
think it is, and
it could be.
I really think
right?
it is.
And it could be.
It could be. And so that's where we're leaning into, is that in all our conversation, everything we're leaning in. Look, part of it is that whether it's the next designer, whether it's the next home decor, whether it's the next piece of unique jewelry, whether it's something that a new service is being brought forth, a home care visit, an opportunity, a cleaning business or roofing business, whatever that might be, I can tell you that the people that are surrounding us here in this town want to be the best. They want to be those trusted advisors. They want to know that if you shop, dine, do entertainment down here and in Somerville itself, that the people that have made these investments, that have leaned into and saying, I want to plant my flag here in this community, are doing it for the reasons that are the right reasons. And they want to, they want to make a living. You can't feed your family on rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah, obviously.
That's how it's about.
It's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they also want to be able. These are the people that give back to the community constantly. If you need your soccer team or your little league team or something like that, everybody leans in and says, "Let me help at whatever level is works for them." But to your point, we don't know. I mean, we know. I think we're the largest importer. I heard the other day we're the largest importer of or exporter of vehicles now here in South Carolina.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And don't quote me on that. I've only heard that.
Someone's gonna fact check you.
Fact check it. And if I'm wrong, we're gonna be someday. I promise. But that being said, so we have that. But right now, what we don't know is what is being worked on. What's the next medical breakthrough? What's the next thing that's happening? But here's the thing that I'm going to say, and this is what's important. This is why DREAM exists. This is why the Chamber of Commerce exists. This is why the town leadership exists. This is why we all work together, and all the other factors and nonprofits and all the other things, is that we want to make sure that we have a platform, that we want to have a community, that we want to be able to have that palette so that they can work right here in Summerville, that they can find those successes here. And when that does come out, and if we have the next, best singer or something like that, let me know. Because, I'll take 9%, not 10%.
Some of the mixtape.
Yeah, so that's all good. I think Taylor Swift came. No, I'm just kidding. But if we could find those type of things, if they feel safe, if they feel like they have the opportunity to find those resources to do those type of things, then it's not unreasonable to think that something great could come out, or something big like that could come out. But even if not, look at it as a collective, man. All the great things that are happening at every one of our shops, all throughout the community, and all in all our small businesses.
Look at the Christmas tree lighting. It was so cold, but look at the amount of people and community that came out to celebrate and enjoy the holidays all together.
Let me tell you, that was a great example. First of all, we have one of the best parks and recreation systems in the country.
Yes, we do.
In the country, and these people work behind the scenes, and I tease Executive Director Amy Evans all the time. I say, your job is to work while other people recreate. And man, they turned it out. They turned it out, and it was just a fantastic evening. Being from the Midwest, it wasn't cold to me, man. It was like it was June. But that being said, it was really you're right. It was just, that was what we always say. That is so Summerville.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
Yeah, and everyone came out to support. Even the window decoration. The live windows. The live windows.
That was
fun. These people were supporting these small businesses, and they were having fun doing it. And you look in. What was interesting? The whole downtown was busy. It was packed.
Yeah.
But when you looked into every single store and restaurant in the square, packed.
Everything was busy.
People were supporting the small business.
Well, and you know what? To that point, we found this. We did a year's research on this. And what we've done is we've worked with our journal scene and with a third party, and over the whole year from Sweet T22 to present day, we've been pulling mobile IDs and IPs and all that stuff. And so we want to get a sense of how many people are really coming to these activities, how many people are really, we have an idea, but we wanted to say, how close are we? Where are we at? But the other thing is we also put what we call them VIP centers to kind of track to see, what are they coming back down? Are they shopping? Are they dining and all that? I was blown away by this, to be honest with you. But on average, every month when we have activities or an event, whether it's a farmer's market or a Christmas tree lighting, a Sweet Tea Fest, Third Thursday, whatever, 3-to-1 return rate. 3-to-1 return rate. So that means somebody came downtown, experienced one of the dynamite activities or events that are happening, and then came back downtown 3 times within that month time to go shopping or dining and to be in there. So we've been really watching that. We want to get great data, but that just goes to show that it's not just an entertainment venue. To be honest, it's a hard venue to have entertainment. You got to close streets. You got to talk. So, but it's important. It's important. And people are shopping and dining. The other thing, too, I just want to point out real quick, where we're showing our research, people are shopping and dining in other parts of the downtown that don't have events in front of their door.
Yeah.
So we could find that people are kind of, maybe during the event it's busy, like to that point during that. But the other side of it is that it's nice that they're coming back down.
Yep.
And if you want to come down 4 times or 5 times a month, we're okay with that.
No complaints. No, and to add another layer to not only the folks contributing to our small business and coming and visiting our town or spending money in our town, but also people moving in, like we're talking about entrepreneurs growing their business.
Yeah.
A big part of the reason is because of how amazing our public safety and our other avenues that we have here in town, our police department, our fire department, and our parks and rec, and those different entities and how amazing they are at keeping us entertained, but with public safety specific, safe. I mean, you can, an entrepreneur can come in here, they'll choose Summerville to live because they have their family and they know that it's going to be a safe place for their family to go. They're going to get great education from our schools.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be a place they're going to come and go build their next Apple in their garage.
You're going to find that's a true statement too, and we applaud. We love working, and in order for Dream to be successful, which again is a cohort of all the other small businesses all coming together, for all that to happen, we don't do it in a vacuum. We have to do it together. So we rely on working together with park services, with police, with fire, with planning, with streets and sanitation, with whomever, all the other fantastic people. I mean, these folks have, by and large, have come in and said, when you work for a municipality, when you work for a government, you say, I'm working on behalf of my fellow citizens. I'm working on behalf of our guests. And we don't, sometimes it's not perfect, okay, we're all human beings, but at the same time, everybody gets up to try and do the same, work towards the same benefit to work towards those things. So not only are the streets are safe, but they're clean, grass is mowed, trash is picked up. I mean, things happen within the community that you just kind of maybe assume, but somebody's doing it. And a lot of times it's done either by those type of employees or contracted employees or other type things. And that's what makes being in Summerville great. I can tell you one of our goals after we have a big event downtown is to make sure that the next morning when you come downtown that you didn't know that the event happened.
Yeah. Leave no trace.
Leave no trace.
Yeah.
So you try to.
Yeah.
You try to. And so we try to get the trash picked up. We try to make sure things are cleaned up. Our micro businesses or our vendors work hard on that because they want to make sure those are the standards that they're leaving, not only for themselves, but the example they want to make for other people that are coming in.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. When it talks about like our municipality employees, and I mean, I won't speak for other people. I can speak for myself. When I wake up every day, I give my all to my community, to the people and the citizens here in Summerville, because that is who I work for.
Yeah,
that's what I do this for. That's why I do this podcast, is to really bring people to really understand, like, hey, this is the stuff that's going on, and we're not hiding behind our computers. I want to get out. That's why we're in your office. I want people to understand Dream more, and I want people to understand our town much better. And I do this for our community, and you'll find that with every municipality worker. But what's unique about Summerville is even not private sector folks, they'll say the same thing. I do this for my community.
Yeah.
Exactly. The restaurants, I do this for my community. That's what makes Summerville unique.
That's it.
Now, I do want to jump into a different topic a little bit. Summerville Dream, and I'm with the town. Can you talk a little bit more about how Dream works with the town on certain projects, or just communication? How does that usually work?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah,
I mean it really is. So Dream, we do have a fee-for-service contract with the town, and we provide different events, from Third Thursday and Farmers Market and so on and so forth. And marketing and other touch points that are associated with that to help make sure that we're fulfilling that small business promise. That's a way for the town to come back and also say, look, we believe in small businesses, we believe in entrepreneurism, we believe in keeping our historic district and our other small business zones healthy and vibrant, and so making an investment that way works both ways.
Yeah.
So we got work to do. So but we interface almost on the daily in a lot of different things, and so whether it's working with Parks and Recreation on event management or on development of new and cool ideas. A couple of years ago, we worked together. We had the Adventure Weekend.
Yeah.
We brought a big zip line in, and we zip lined from Cuppamana all the way down to Garins. And then we kept it then in Climbing Wall. We did it for a whole weekend, and we had Adventure Weekend. And it was a great thing for our shops, but it was also really fun because the Park District had an opportunity to advance their their programming portfolio. We work with police with when there are issues, when there are some stuff that are going down here, when our merchants bring forward or a guest or shoppers come up and they say, hey, listen, there's a couple of concerns we have. We work with planning on parking issues, on just streetscape opportunities and different things. And so really, we work really hard to try to be I don't want to say it sounds like a cliche to say we're the voice of small businesses. It's not, there's a lot of people that pour into it. But really, we do try to streamline that communication so that what happens in government and decisions that are being made, that small business and entrepreneurs and folks like that have a say at the table, that they're in the room, that we're able to make sure that their concerns are being brought forward and that it's being resolved. So we work in tandem in everything. We couldn't do this, and either one of us, without having these type of supports. To that point, we're also out there working hard to, like I said, with other entrepreneurs and other investors and other things like that we can at least get the lay of the land real quick and kind of test those waters and at least help shepherd them to the right places that they need to, within the municipal structure that's laid out there. So we try to bridge that, get some of those answers done, shorter period of time. But like I said, in it also works in like I said, because it's symbiotic.
Yeah.
It works in the factor that we'll get a call from downtown or a request, or they have a question about a certain component that they're interested in, maybe pursuing or looking at, or wayfinding signs or something really just really good stuff, and we'll be able to connect quicker with our merchants and all that to get them some immediate feedback and bring them to the table. So. It's been really it's been a great relationship.
That's amazing. It's amazing. It's all about just building and keeping those strong relationships and working together to enhance our community. And we talked a little bit about Dream and the history, kind of how it was built up. But also kind of some of the stuff you do, when it talks about working with small businesses or the farmers market and all that fun stuff. But I kind of want to talk about the future, right?
Let me get on my globe here, my magic.
So what's the vision? What's some future goals for Summerville Dream?
That's fantastic. That's a great question. And here's the best part of the answer is that there are no secrets. We try to involve everybody in the future and try and get feedback from folks. So a couple of things I'll say. One is that we try real hard to listen to feedback.
Yeah,
we have actually a couple of merchants right now that are working on surveys from events and working real hard to get a lot of feedback. So the first thing we're going to look at is what can we do to make the current events better? What tweaks do we need to make? How do we structure things differently and get people involved in that? That's number one. But the other is, sometimes they're bringing in really, cool events like from the zip line and the ice skating rink, and we brought the circus one year, and we've done some kind of big end things, and then with COVID, and we've kind of had to tweak a little bit and kind of regroup. I got a fantastic employee with Jesse who's making a big plans. We're looking at what kind of cool things can we bring forward in 2024 and 25? So we're looking at a big band, like a Lawrence Welk show to work with the symphony and a few other things. We're working on potentially a Ninja Warrior night. You've seen the American Ninja Warrior, those type of things. And then we have 2 or 3 other events and activities that we'll be bringing forward. But we're also working on, like I said, expanding the entrepreneur opportunities. Mm-hmm. Our goal in working with the town and working with other folks is to, we've been working on a plan for entrepreneur, like a cohort or an incubator setup, if you will, where a retail, somebody who's in retail who wants to test their products to see if it's the right thing. instead of putting out a whole shop or renting a full building or doing something like that, which is a good thing. We like having those, but is to have a place for them to come test model their products. And so kind of an entrepreneur area. It would also have a place for, we're calling it the Tinker Shop.
Yeah.
So we're working on those type of things. So we have that. We have, we're leaning into, there's a couple folks that are, with some infill projects that are interested. So we have some investors that are looking into, what properties are available, what areas are available, and we'd like to be working with them. I tell the team and all that stuff. Part of that is either you're wearing the coat or you're riding the coattails, right?
Yep.
And so Dream's trying to work with the Chamber of not trying to. We work with the Chamber of Commerce. We work with the Dorchester leadership. We work with the town, obviously, to help nurture those conversations along and start bringing in some of those things too. So those are that's where the future is leading into. The other thing I'll mention is that we have big plans for marketing. We saw the marketing where the successes have been, and we've done a lot of research. We developed an app a couple of years ago, and we kind of let it go cold a little bit because, to be honest with you, I'm not an app guy,
I like the honesty.
But it is being reintroduced again. It's called Shop Summerville. The app will have information on there on all the events, where to shop. But the best part of the app, and this is what's going to be dynamite, I think, is that we have a coupon component that we'll be launching on that as well.
Ooh.
So if you're going to shop and dine and be down here in downtown, so those are kind of the future. Besides some big events, we got some cool investment and development deals going on, and we got some really cool marketing to kind of make sure that we're fulfilling. We don't lose sight of what laid the groundwork to get us to this point.
I love that. I'm excited to watch you guys, continue to enhance and grow and build, and anything I can do to help, I'm here to help. But
you're as soon as anybody that says that to us, they're on the list. So it's just that simple. So
I love that. I love that.
You're in.
Now, for any of our listeners who just kind of feel inspired to get involved with Summerville DREAM,
sure.
What are some ways our listeners can get involved with y'all?
I'll tell you, really, if there's a couple of different things. One is that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're looking to kind of open your own shop, or if you have a business, if you're already, you've already kind of planted your flag someplace and you said, hey, I haven't considered, let me look at this in a way that I can participate. The great thing about being what we call community partners with DREAM, in the business sense, is that we try to keep everything value-based. So it's like $245 for the entire year, for 12 months, to have a community partnership. And that gives you whatever level of service that you want to participate in. And then here's what I mean by that. We have some that really want to pour into it and work on participating in additional marketing components beyond what maybe just generally out there.
Yeah.
And that's great. Some people want to be part of the activities or the events that are going on downtown, or finding just kind of coming in and finding business-to-business relationships. So that's first of all. Second of all, whenever there's an event, and there's always an event.
Always.
There's always an event. Including farmers. There's 36 weeks of the farmers market. There's 12 months of Third Thursdays.
Yeah.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
Folks or groups or organizations primarily as well that want to volunteer or get involved with that, they could reach out to DREAM. We're easy to find. We're info@summervilledream.org.
I'll make sure it's in the bio too.
That'd be great. That'll connect. So that's a good way to participate as well. And then third is, look, you got a business out there, and even if you're a larger business, we like all businesses. We like people that are out there. And say, look, I'd like to get my word. I need to get my name out more. I'd like to advertise more. We have all kinds of advertisement opportunities where you can, from event advertisement all the way to digital service advertisement and everything in between. And so folks that are looking for an opportunity to expand their marketplace at a value-based pricing, contact us as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for, taking the
Oh,
time.
sure.
I do have one more question that I ask
Yes.
at the end of every podcast episode.
My favorite color is safety
No,
orange.
listen.
No? Okay.
No, listen. I've forgotten. I have forgot to ask this question in a couple of podcasts, and I hear it. So, you have three choices. Your top three places to eat here in Summerville. Go.
Any place that I have to say, any place that's here in downtown, number one.
For sure.
It's like choose between your one child or a little child. Look, I'll say this. That's a great question. In all fairness, and this is the truth. This is the truth. You have every type of cuisine downtown.
It's so true.
If you want to go for a quality Mexican meal, great restaurants there. We have Italian. We have sushi. We have hot dogs, and we have Italian ice.
Yes.
And we have, of course, how could you forget Eva's? Eva's been here, forever.
Yep.
It's a staple.
Yeah.
It's a staple.
Yeah.
And then we have all kinds of new cuisine all over the place. And so I'm gonna go ahead and Councilman, I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. But I'm also gonna say I'm only pleading the fifth because there is no answer to that. They're all fantastic, and I would encourage people to just come down, spend a day, spend a weekend, an evening. The greatest, I always tell people, look, you can come here in the morning, you get a great breakfast, you can go over to Eva's or Cup of Manor or Coastal Coffee or something like that. And then you could have lunch at any of our fine establishments, and you can end up at, Accent on Wine or one of the other greatest, all these other great places downtown, Bexley's and what have you. And, Sweetwater.
Yeah.
You're just not going to go, you're not going to go wrong.
No, listen. I'll accept that answer.
gonna go
I will
wrong.
accept that answer. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time
Thanks,
today.
man.
I really
Appreciate
appreciate
it,
it.
Chris. Thanks.
And I look forward to sharing this with the community. And in the bio below, we'll make sure we have all the information that we talked about, your website, social media links, you name it.
Thanks.
And if you have any questions or you look forward or looking to work with Dream, or feel free to reach out to them. They'll always be happy to communicate. But thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate it, man. And, just remember that what we always say, keep it beautiful, keep it downtown, keep it sweet, keep it local, keep it Summerville.
Love it. I love it. All right. Thank you so much.